doesn't get better than this. Only a fool would've let you go. You got into my head. Am I about to lose myself? When will all of this fade away? Cause I see colors for the first time. I'm starting to realize nothing's ever black and white. And I'm caught up in the first night. Now it doesn't feel right. I'll just have to say goodbye one last time. I know that it's hopeless, but we'll both be fine. Cause nothing's ever black and white. I don't see the fire in your eyes, wondering what I've done wrong. Those words are kinda hard to find, so I just had to write this song. I don't wanna see you cry again, and no matter how the story ends, I'll always be there for you. Cause I see colors for the first time. I'm starting to realize nothing's ever black and white. And I'm caught up in the first night. Now it doesn't feel right. I'll just have to say goodbye one last time. I know that it's hopeless, but we'll both be fine. Cause nothing's ever black and white.
Entombed in my mind, can't seem to break away. Lost in time, thinking about better days. Do you ever get used to the pain? Cause I don't know if I can do this again. Now you got me wondering why you let me die alone inside. I died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. I died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. Tell me why you left me bleeding. Died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. Lullabies of you still in my head. Bloodshot eyes, can't sleep, I'm rotting in my bed. Even the drugs don't faze me. I don't think you understand. I gave you everything I had when the shit go wrong, and now you got me wondering why you let me die alone inside. I died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. I died for you, I cried for you, I tried for you. tried for you. Tell me why you left me bleeding. I could set you free, show you what this world can really be. Here with me, I could set you free of the pain and misery and let you be. Here with me, I could set you free. I could set you free. I could set you free. Show you what this world can really be. Here with me, I could set you free of the pain and misery and let you be. Here with me, show you what this world can really be. Here with me, I could set you free of the pain and misery and let you be. Here with me, I could set you free. I could set you free. I could set you free. Show you what this world can really be. Here with me, I could set you free of the pain and misery and let you be. Here with me, I could set you free.
On a boiling desert road, heading far away to some place we don't know. Is it true all the things they say, that we will come to an end? Is it true all the things they say, maybe we could pretend? I don't wanna let go of your love, I don't wanna let go of your touch, 'cause my sun is rising, it's heading with you. Never let it go of your love.
I'm decked out and I'm rolling. Mullet out, no controlling. DNA ain't no hoeing. Jumped in deep, never put no toe in. Stepped out and I'm growing. Every day I've been growing. Never know where I'm going. And your bitch like how I'm flowing, flowing.
I don't wanna be left by the side, 'cause I cannot get you out my mind. I will never, ever let go of your love. I'll never let it go of your love.
from Associated Press to now the Delphi top of the dogs match here. We have the Flaming Tanukis versus Kitsune. Speaking of a banger of a set, I have a banger on the cast with me, Mr. Helene. Welcome.
How's it going? Yeah, this should be a really fun set. Two 4-1 teams. The way we structured these end of the season teams, we got the top seeds playing against each other. Should make sure some really good games today.
Yeah, but both of these teams are, kind of revered as the championship contenders. It's them two. There's also what's the other team? Why am I drawing blanks on the third team right now? It's them two and I don't know. Yeah, but
KWM.
yeah,
KWM.
KWM. There you go. Yeah, and then maybe the Hanford Hairnets on the rise now. So this game is gonna have some big implications. May have some seedings. May kind of impact who's gonna get to decide first on their opponents going into the playoffs. But hey, going into this game, kind of seeing some pretty standard bands here. Nothing crazy. Normally in the lower divisions, you maybe see some like odd god bands, for some niche ones, but just kind of the standard ones. Getting that Rob, Thor, Yorm, and Martikras out of the way.
Yeah, nothing too surprising so far. It has been a question of what assassins do you let through? Do you let through the Collies of the world? Do you let through the Baka, the Thor of the world? Baka, I think, kind of on that fringe of he's still rather good, but is it good enough to ban it? My opinion, in Delphi, probably just a ban character that kind of plays itself and is just farm bot, press 4, kill everyone. Rather easy execution on the character. Do you see the collie taken away? Which leaves up what is being left up here now that my brain is slowly turning on as we get through here.
I mean, there's the Baba that's still up right now. There's
Oh yeah, Bubba.
the Hachi Man that is still up. There's the Ganesha pick that's still up. So, there's still a decent number of things that are open, and that's kind of the thing with this meta right now. There's only 6 things you can ban, and right now I think there's about like 8 to 9 decent gods that you're not complaining if you have, right? And we were talking about how normally you'll start to see a little bit of more odd picks coming into here, or odd bands, in the lower divisions. And speaking of a very odd band, the Morgan Le Fay getting banned here, gonna be targeting out Skull there on the side of the Flaming Tanukis. Skull, he's got the Tiamat, he's got the MLF, he's got Agni, so it's not really a massive hit to him. But I mean, definitely maybe something more that he's been performing pretty well on. But hey, when you ban those odd picks, though, you're gonna leave open something, and Hachiman is instantly locked in.
Hachiman getting locked in here. My question for I think people in general is Hachi even the best ADC anymore? I think he's definitely still in that top 3, but with that massive buff to Silver Branch, I really feel like Rama has kind of taken his spot as the best hunter in my opinion. With that steroid at full build, just absolutely slams right now. But it's still a Hachi, does still have some synergy with that, with the attack speed on his 2, but it's going to be the front line picked up early here. Sun Wukong and Kuzenbo, an annoying front line.
Yeah. Look, Hachiman, as you said, there are a lot of hunter choices that are there. Hachiman, probably, actually one of the more like, basically you can have him play 2 very different type of styles, right? Hachiman can use that horse to be more aggro and get into the backline with his team, or he can use that as a more passive type of create space and distance and use that slow to his advantage. So, Hachiman just kind of another safe hunter that which is a good pick no matter who you're kind of putting that on. But yeah, like you said, these stim hunters really with the Silver Branch, you might see get played a lot more. I feel like that is going to be the build, but hey, again, you pick up a hunter though, and you're gonna leave open something insanely good. Sun Wukong getting locked in, and that Kuzenbo. We have been seeing a lot more of these Sun Wukongs. I mean, his damage numbers are insane. What do you think about Sun Wukong?
I think he is very, very good. With mages not being in a spot that they can really kill frontliners ever, really, it feels like in this meta. Wukong just absolutely menace to your backline. Yeah, makes the mage miserable. If the ADC does come and help, you just hop up into that cloud, and all of a sudden the Wukong's just zoning 2 people by himself while he's just chilling in a cloud, getting his health back. So I think Wukong very good right now. Do you see the Bakasura and the Discordia locked in? All of the carries for the side of Tanukis getting locked in early, but all very premier carries. And then the Kamazots on the other side. How do you feel about Kamazots right now?
I actually don't mind it into their comp. Look at their comp and just look at how much time that this comp can buy. Kuzenbo with that ultimate and reflect, going to be able to stay alive very long. Kamazot's going to go up into that iframe immunity damage in the sky, and the same thing with the Sun Wukong. So the Kitsune side really just going for a comp that's like, I'm going to be in your face for very long, and I'm going to stay alive for a very long time. So it's gonna be up to the Flaming Tanukis to try to figure out a way to get these crucial picks in the late game, because if they let these fights delay out, I think the side of Kitsune is going to have an advantage there. Picks and bans, though. Baba Yaga making it all the way through to phase number 2. Finally getting banned there. Ishao getting banned. Don't see that all too often. But, Warriors are the target on the side of Kitsune. Get a little bit of an Achilles ban there and a tier. And now on her, another god that, is relatively safe, gets locked
On
in.
her.
I feel like On Her and Tabaka can't feel particularly great. I'm not an ADC player. I don't pretend to be an ADC player. I kind of feel like that doesn't feel great. I mean, maybe you can have some sick pillars and juke around the Bakasura a little bit, but that cripple on her could be interesting to see. I feel like you usually see On Her in lanes where he really has potential to solo the other hunter. And I feel like against Hachi should be pretty safe in that lane, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. You see some hovers coming out here. You see a Guan and a Terra hover.
Shiva.
It's going to be a
Terra.
Shiva
Oh.
and a Terra. How are we feeling about Shiva right now?
Dude, Shiva pumps out damage numbers just like some Wukong. I really like the pick. Late game is a little spotty though. Not real too sure how Shiva's really perform in the late game. It is very tough for them to kind of still bring that dominance, but in this mid game, Shiva is going to pump out an insane amount of damage and it's going to be very hard to kill. But I mean, look, they locked in that Bakasura, like you said, but I feel like it's going to be really rough, right? Yu Huang, kind of same thing. If Bakasura ults him, not going to be able to go up into the skies, but does have that ultimate for CC immunity, just like this on her, is going to be able to kind of root and keep this Bakasura at a time. So Ninja really going to have to pick when he wants to kind of go in and make his staple on the game, but into a Kuzenbo, that's got to feel rough, right? You go in, you ult, and then after about 1 second, Kuzenbo is tossing you around. So I think Ninja is going to have to play this game perfect in order to be able to perform on this Bakasura pick.
Also that, but if you see the Kuzenbo go along the lines of the thorns, the horrific, those types of relics that he really likes to get. On the Kuzenbo, I think I'm just sitting next to my carries with a Midgard, my 2, and Thorns, saying, please auto attack us, because you are just going to die in the process. Beyond that, I mean, if the Kuzenbo isn't really on top of his peel this game, I do think that the backline could struggle into that Baka. I think their individual matchups aren't the best, but if that Kuzenbo's doing their job and just sitting in the backline, I think could be a really strong dissuasion tool for the side of Kitsune.
Well, we're going to see if this Bakasura can get active onto the backline as loading into game number 1. All right. So, I mean, off of that, I feel like you're going to kind of side with maybe the side of this Kitsune comp and what it kind of brings to the table. Or are you still hovering more towards this Flaming Tanuki squad?
I think I favor the Tanuki's draft a little bit. I'm not sold that Yu Huang is doing all that hot in the meta right now. I think he struggles just a little bit in pretty much all regards. I mean, he's fairly safe. He does a fairly good amount of damage. The ult is a great engage if you hit it consistently, but can be a hard ultimate to really get the max value out of consistently. Not super sold on the Yu Huang. You look at the other side. You look at this Tanuki's draft. Disco ult, pretty hard to miss in a team fight. Hachi ult, can't miss Hachi ult. The Shiva ult, big circles.
Christ.
Terra ult, big circles. Bakasura ult, big circles. I think the Flaming Tanukis just stack these circles on top of each other. Even if there's a Kuzenbo sitting in the middle. Sure, the Kamazots and the Wukong, probably going to be fine. They're just going to go up in the air. They're not going to die to it. But if your backliners are just insta-killed by the dive, I don't think it really matters if the cam on some Wukong survive.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking more on the depths of that Yu Hong, as you said, he doesn't really, in this current meta, really excel at anything, right? He's not a really good tank killer. He's not particularly well at being able to shred any tank. I mean, if you give him a lead, of course he's gonna be able to do that, right? But that's just kind of any mage in this current meta. I mean, also doesn't really have an amazing time at hitting the backliners either, as a god like maybe like Thoth or something along those lines. So I mean, his place right now in the meta has kind of just been more of a I'm going to try to pump out as much numbers as I can and just stay alive for as long as possible. And maybe that's what they're going for, right? Maybe they kind of realize that this Flame and Tanuki team likes to play one way and one way only, and that's get active. And I feel like if they can survive the initial onslaught of what the Tanukis are going to bring, I think they have a good chance of winning.
Yeah, if they survive that initial dive, they should be looking great in the fights. Just kind of be whether they're able to use their relics effectively, use some of the safety that they do have to avoid that dive coming through. Taking a look at starter items, it is double ornate arrow. I'm curious to see if both of these hunters are going to go for that. There's a kind of like an ornate arrow wind demon or demon
Yeah,
blade
crit build,
build going around. That's I haven't seen a ton of. I've still seen a lot of that kind of full pen build with the silver branch, but I know there's been some testing with this kind of high crit attack speed build.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to see on her go crit. If I see on her going crit in my game, I'm crying. And if it's in ranked, I'm going up the F6 one. So hopefully Kolobsky gonna opt not to go for that more crit oriented type of build there though. But you were talking how you want to see this Kuzenbo maybe get the thorns, maybe get a horrific, maybe even opt for a blink, but instead opts for that shell. Do you think that's a little troll to go shell?
I don't love it. I really think on a character like Kuzenbo, I'd rather have the horrific. Lets him get active in that lane. Also, I mean, if you're getting the shell to, presumably you're getting shell to help deal with the Bakasura, almost a solo kill for the Shiva. Someone gonna limp out. But if your goal with that relic is to peel off the Baka, I think the horrific just does more. Slow down his attack speed, slow down his damage, not just the shield to your team.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a little bit tougher now for this Kuzenbo too to kind of get active on the backline. So maybe, like you said, we're gonna see him more of a peely type of support in this game, which isn't bad, right? Because they do have that Bakasura, and Kuzenbo is gonna be able to feast onto this Bakasura. I do hope he builds, like you said, more of kind of like a soul lane type of build, just to kind of deter this Bakasura from wanting to die, but deter as Adore is ganking the duo lane here. They did end up pushing big green lead, but he should have his dash up, should be able to get out safely, gets it through, but a lot of poke coming through, and the Kitsune, they're probably gonna get the prop buff here as a little consolation prize.
Could be though. Looks like the Camazot's actually going to go back to base, and the Terra's low, but not that low though. It does look like they are just gonna give it up. Not willing to step back up there. Still have a shell to test. Just going to end up giving that protection buff over. Clear in the mid lane. Pretty still right now. Do see both of them going that Sands of Time, so no conduits, no early burst clear for either side. Yeah, to be expected, but do occasionally see Discordias go for that conduit.
Both junglers here looking to invade blue buffs. Ninja does get the blue buff on, does get the Kitsune side blue buff, and now Adora gonna look to try to burn this down. He probably more than likely will get it. Ninja though, ganking that soul lane. One auto, two autos, needs one more, did get slowed, and he's gonna get out. Yes, he does. Oh my. That was a close one there. Beads does get expended though onto the side. Adora jumping in, buddy. You're level 3, and that soul laner is level 5. Rough Marshmallow forced the ult there, but I mean, look, double blue invade doesn't benefit the soul laners at all, but does benefit the junglers. But these junglers, why are they so far down the levels right now?
Yeah, I think it was both of them were early to those blue buffs, which I don't think is necessarily the worst, but meant that neither of them did their back camps, neither did the speed buffs. Green buff is still up for both sides as well. Just a lot of the jungle farms still up here, both mid camps as well. I mean, literally everything is up in the jungle for both teams here. But I mean, I guess trying to make sure they're on time for the blue. You're not quite as comfortable with those jungle timings. I guess being a little bit too early might be better than being late. But do sacrifice a lot of farm process. Blink in from Ninja, jump into the tower. Nothing going to come from it. Just a warning shot, I guess.
Yeah, a little interesting thing. I don't know if you know this.
Oh
Bakasura-
no.
Oh my. Top tier talent on the sides of these teams.
Alright.
Missing the Sun Wukong dash there.
Yeah, the idea, beautiful. The execution,
Yeah,
most
not
beautiful.
so beautiful. Yeah. But right. So Ninja, definitely you want to get to level 5 on Bakasura before you blink in. Your ultimate is very crucial in stopping this Hoi from going up into the air. If you blink on, or my bad, a Hoi, a Yu Huang. If you blink on a Yu Huang without your ultimate up, he's just gonna kind of go up, and then the fight's over, right? You're not gonna really be able to catch him there. So blink expended now on this Bakasura. I mean, hey, it is a Baka though, so all he really does want to farm, all he really wants to do is farm. And speaking of farm, Adora looking to farm this ADC, does hit the 2 there, is slowed, but the ult coming through, and that's kind of the benefit of Hachi. You can be out of position, you can be way too far up, and then guess what? You just hop on that horse and you're out.
Yeah, good Hachi out there, holds on to the beads, holds, really just losing that ult, able to immune all of that CC coming out with just the Hachiman ult. Good use of it there. Let's see, green buff's going down, taking a look at gold though. Not too much of a lead on either side here, I mean, just 300 gold in the lead, or 500 gold, sorry. But really not too much of a lead here. Thinking about objectives, I don't think either of these teams are really going to be looking to just, rip a Gold Fury at 10 minutes type of comp. Like maybe the Bakasura comp wants, potentially look for an early objective, but I think we'll probably need some picks, some ults, some relics down before we continue looking at objective this game.
Yeah, and speaking of kind of like the state of how these teams want to play, I definitely believe that Kitsune is going to look to maybe get active around this first beacon. They seem like their team is more, or this has more of an early game presence, at least you can say. Playing with Tanukis, besides for really the Shiva, the rest of their team looking to get to that hyper late game. Bakasura trying to get to level 20 just to be able to one-shot somebody. This Disco, same thing, just wants to get to that late game full build. Blink ult coming in through, that's what you got to do on the Bakasura, buddy. Beats coming through, but not enough. Kalabski will fall, and Ninja picks up kill number 1.
Yeah, Beats forced out there. Rough Marshmallow did get the solo, but Tower returned it just a little bit too far. Maybe a mental victory there for Rough Marshmallow. Did go the Spike's first item here. Not something we see a whole lot of anymore after it got nerfed pretty heavily, especially into sometimes you'll see it into a magical solo laner. But seeing it into a Fizz, kind of surprised that's not just a Glad Shield.
Yeah, Glad Shield definitely probably just the better item. Lets you do a little bit more damage and gives you cooldown, which you definitely want on Warriors in the early game. Interesting pickup there, though. I mean, Shiva is probably the best Manticore spike procer there is in the game. Procs it on 2 of his abilities that basically combo with each other, almost guaranteed there. So not a terrible pickup, but maybe you would like to have seen it a little bit later in the build curve. Maybe that extra Fizz procs would have kept him alive. Maybe been able to take an extra
little
T1
HP
tower shot.
a little more Fizz procs, a little more damage too, maybe. But regardless, is a level up partially, I think, because of that failed gank in the mid lane there by the Sun Wukong. Long Wukong going beads, which I do like. I do think blink beads is often what you want on the Sun Wukong. Do like the decision, but it does mean that those little adventures into the mid lane can be a little bit more costly. The Skull is getting hunted out here. Adora is right to think that they're low, but good patience, not taking a lazy back in the jungle there, like it's often tempting to do. Is going to be safe under that tower. Solo laners might not be safe here.
Yeah, Shiva doing his little dancey dance here, but not a lot of damage coming through. Dora with a big rotation and picks up Rough Marshmallow. Just when you thought the Sun Wukong was in a little bit of trouble, they said, no, Uno reverse card. That's you, Shiva. Oh, by the way, I will not be saying the Sun Wukong's name. I won't be saying this support's name either. I don't even know what the mid name is. I probably won't say that either. But getting active is this Charlo in the duo lane there. Ninja picks up Kolopsky, and he's stuck on those minions there, but a big push into the tower. One more hit from the tower, but it's not going to come through Ninja. Again, another big gank picks up Kolopsky, and you were saying, you were wondering how this matchup with Honor into the Bakasura is going to fare, and I mean, it doesn't look like it's faring well.
Yeah, I don't think Golopsky's having a whole lot of fun in this lane at the moment. He has been 3-man rotated on a couple times, so not gonna say it's entirely his fault, but it's just a pick that it's just not that safe. And sure, you have the CC immunity in your ultimate, but then you're just standing there trading, into Bakasura while you use that CC immunity. You just don't think you have DPS the Baka there. Taking a look as well, the Kamazots went for the Transcendence, which, is okay, it's slow. But the fact that the Kama is a level up over a Bakasura with is a little bit concerning. Yeah, you definitely expect the Baka to be getting their farm quite a bit faster, just in general, but especially when the Kamazots has gone that Transcendence.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of the issue with these junglers. These junglers are kind of prioritizing these ganks more over farming, and their back camps and their camps are just staying up way too long here. Prop buff gonna get taken by the side of Tanukis. I definitely think prop buff is a massive thing to play for in this duo lane. It lets your ADC do so much. It gives them extra gold, gives them extra XP, just lets them outfarm the other ADC. But on top of that, giving that prot and that shield, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it just lets them box the other ADC with ease in the laning phase.
Yeah, in the mid lane, do you think the Skulls managed to pull just a little bit of a lead here? Have seen him going back to those back camps just a little bit more often. I mean, if the junglers are going to play this game where you're going to play super gank heavy that style, that can work. You can pull out, a la Atlantis Leviathans, and just your mid laner just gobbles all of the back camps. That one, Sun Wukong one just did entirely too much damage, by the way. But
welcome to that god in that lane, man. Not fun to play into.
I do think it's okay to play that style as long as your side laners are picking up those camps. ADCs can pick up the chest camp, your mid laners can pick up the back harpies. It's going to be a 3-man blue buff invade, not too much that the side of Tanukis can do here. The Doro looking for more. Good Terra clap. Now the Terra's Blessing comes out. Kama in the sky. It's a whole lot of ult used for nothing, but that beacon's coming up in 20 seconds.
Yeah, Terra's Blessing down, and Bad out of Hell gets expended there too, but I like that. I like that from Ninja. He understood, I don't need to use my ult here. Kamazots is just going to ult right after, and my ult's going to get nullified. Instead, holds that ult for this beacon fight, gets a back off too, and finishes that Kins. Watch out for this Bakasura in this fight, because this might be a big play here from him, but instead, Kitsune kind of understanding that, hey, we're not strong enough. Let's just go ahead and sack this. But now, Flaming Tanukis, they see how low Kitsune are. They see that they didn't back, and they said, let's go ahead and take another prize. Let's aim for this Gold Fury. Kuzenbo.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened to them. Yu Huang before that fight. He was just like 4 HP. Because he was. A good Kuzenbo ult does make this a little sloppy. Adora's coming in and does steal it away. Not sure if it was the Kamazots or the Onher, but they do pick up the Gold Fury. Now the fight is on. Chase onto this Kamazots that doesn't have that Bat out of Hell. Used it over on the blue buff. It is going to pay for it. Now Yu Huang could be the next target. This Bakasura. I don't know about a tier 2 at this point, Ninja.
Gee. Oh my, and the Nene cap on the triple bounce. Big pickup there from the Kuzenbo. That's the highlight. That's the highlight reel play right there.
A bold strategy to dive tier 2 at 13 minutes.
Yeah. Very bold move there. I mean, it did pay off because he died, but he did get Aegis out from this mid laner, so now that maybe is another option to target going into these mid-game fights. I mean, pressuring this mid tower, just going to strip the Bastions, maybe looking to take this T1 in mid, but instead they're like, hey, I mean, this Kuzenbo's here, this Yu Huang's here, we might not be able to get these minions in, but all in the meanwhile, Kolopsky trying to get back into this game is only a level down, but 0-3-0 on the side of this Honor. Gotta feel a little bit rough here. I mean, Honor has been one of those picks that you see it from time to time, but it's not really meta right now. I mean, especially with Silverband, you definitely assume that it would never get picked, but you know, maybe Colopsy just kind of going for a comfort pick in this game.
Yeah, I assume that's why I'm picking it. Can we take a quick look at the net worth? Because that purple buff is getting dragged all the way to the tier 2. Shouldn't be a whole lot of fight here. The Ninja, the aggressive jump in, does find actually quite a bit of damage onto that Kamazotz, but now the rotation coming in, a good watery grave, going to put the health bars low on the side of Tanukis. A great combo there from the Yu Huang, and now the Bakasura ult, does he have enough damage? I don't think so. What a dueling dragons from the Yu Huang. The Disco ult comes in late, but the rest of their team's just dead.
Yeah, the flaming Tanukis, they got a little too cocky there, right? They're like, hey, we already stole, we got Gold Fury, we got the first beacon, their ADC's 0-3, we're just gonna run at this guy, but they don't understand what the other team can do. Kuzenbo basically almost killing Mr. Big Green Leaf there on his own with that Kuzenbo ultimate there. I liked to see that re-engagement by Ninja. Maybe would have been able to pick up a kill there, but did get the beads down from this on her. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you shouldn't be diving at T2 tower for a purple buff. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be looking to fight over there. A little overzealous. Mid laner able to rotate in and get a big pickup there. But I mean, can I ask you real quick? Is there some tech with Kolobsky not going to second active and deciding at level 13 to still rock with that shard? Oh, and as I say that,
He just bought it. He just bought it. Does pick up the shell, which is kind of interesting. Discordia, kind of a character you usually want Aegis against, along with the Baka. I mean, I feel like a lot of the time a pretty good strategy against Bakasura is Aegis out the purple and then, jump away once the purple is gone. It's going to be a Pyromancer pull here, and the on her ult is going to be good for the secure there. Discordia Apple just off the mark there, trying to thread the needle through that corridor. Now Shiva just getting forced into his ult for free, not having a great time.
Yeah, this is kind of the thing with Shiva, right? Like, he's in this mid game where he does do a lot of damage, but he also takes a lot of damage, as we see knock up coming through. Bye bye, Rough Marshmallow. You didn't have ult, buddy. You shouldn't have stepped up. See ya later. But as I was saying, right, Rough Marshmallow, he's going to be able to do a lot of damage numbers, as you see on top of the charts, almost double anybody in the game. But there comes a price with that, right? You do damage, but you also take it damage. And take it damage he did as he falls. Now, Sun Wukong up into the sky, dunks down, kills Skull, he falls. Sun Wukong getting a good rotation in there, picking up a kill. Kuzenbo a little bit low, might fall to the ADC, but no, more than likely just going to be able to get out here. Ninja XK going in for the ultimate, but gets deleted by this Yu Huang. We were talking about how this pick might not be amazing, but he's showing us all wrong. Charlo kills a Dora, forced the Aegis and dash away, living with 1 HP, and now he's back. He said, you killed me, I'm killing you. Sun Wukong falls. That was just an arena game underneath that T1 tower there.
Yeah, the tower doesn't even fall. But they're just getting it. They're just in there for vibes, I guess. The Yu Huang though has looked really good so far. Might be in a little bit of trouble here. Not sure if that 3's available. This is going to be able to walk out. But has done a great job with Dragon on the mark. Not the easiest ability to land consistently, and he's been absolutely on point with them. I just got distracted mid-sentence. I apologize. Discordia went Warlock Staff second.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alright, so here's my opinion on this. Warlock Staff right now, I think it's kind of sleeper really good. Big fan of Warlocks right now. Second, though.
Not a big fan of that Rough Marshmallow play, though.
Yeah, that was a little rough, you could say. Gold Fury is going to get pulled here. It doesn't look like Kitsune are there, or if they are,
yeah, they're not gonna get it in time.
Should be able to just drop back and get this beacon for free instead of maybe trying to look for the fight. Tanukis don't want to give this up despite it being a 5v4, but it's actually a 4v4 because Sun Wukong has not rotated over. A beautiful Discordia ult, Terra ult going to come out as well. And now it's Kitsune that are losing a 4v5 or 5v4 fight. Excuse me, except that Charlo had found himself in the front line. The Wukong damage coming out, picks up a 2, wants the triple kill. The ultimate is down. Oh,
Oh,
that's
yeah,
got baited by a clone.
yeah, you got baited by the clone. I wasn't gonna say anything there. Yeah, you got super baited by the clone there. Yeah, he already did his little demise.
Oh, that's the real one.
Yeah, there's the real one. He just blinked in. Yeah, the clone can't blink. Oh, Dueling Dragons coming through. Have seen a couple of decent ones there, but that one wasn't one. I mean, surely as level 15 solo laner, you're gonna understand, hey, it's 20 minutes of level 15. I need to farm. Rough Marshmallow in a little bit of a rough spot here. Sun Wukong 2-level lead, and the damage is only gonna keep ramping up for the Sun Wukong, right? As this build kind of gets online, gonna get Pridwin next, probably gonna get the exploding one. I mean, at some point, Rough Marshmallow is going to fall off a cliff in terms of the amount of damage and presence he's going to have. I mean, basically at this point,
I'd argue
doesn't
he
really
already
have
has.
the presence. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly still does the damage, but I mean, the last couple of fights, the Rough Marshmallow's just gotten obliterated before they've really been able to do too much here. I mean, Ninja comes over, but that's level 17. I just think he's scared of you.
Yeah, he's not scared at all. Even with the low amount of prots that he has in his build right now, he probably can win the 1v1 exchange there. Even though it is a Bakasura who is known for that 1v1 caliber into the later stages of the game. I mean, look, this game, we thought Flaming Tanukis, they had an amazing early game. They got that big kills on the left side of the map, able to pick up Gold Fury and the first Stygian Beacon. But ever since then, Kitsune just been kind of dominating in these team fights here. I mean, like, what's kind of been some key issues that you've been seeing in these team fights as Pyromancer more likely going to fall to the Flaming Tanukis than it does?
Please do pick that one up. I think it's just how far behind the front line Tanukis is here. The Dueling Dragons come out. Dora chasing the support here, committing all 3 strikes. The bat out of the hell dug all down there, I think, to a Divine Ruin Croc. Unlucky. Charlo is the next victim as well. Ninja trying to get something done here, but you're hitting a Kuzumbo who's the same level as you. You're just not going to kill him. Now Rough Marshmallow stuck between 5 members of Kitsune should fall down here, and it does. And as a 3-0 for the side of Kitsune.
Yeah, I think a big issue here too is, like, all right, you said Warlock's a little bit of a slept-on item, but the only issue is that item does cost a decent chunk of change, and now he is lacking in the pen department, deciding to opt for that Chronos pennant, even though he did go Sands at times as that starter. So not a lot of penetration, does get that Soul Reaver, gonna get the Ob Shard next. So like even right now, Skulls, it almost feels like his ultimate is just tickling at this point. Not doing a whole lot of damage in the mid lane from him. Jungler, again, Ninja's having a tough time, and it makes sense in this comp. He doesn't really have a clear target anymore to go on. Could maybe go on Kolobsky still. I mean, did have early game success, but he's just finding it very difficult to get to the back line of the side of the Tanukis.
Yeah, I mean, the frontliners for Tanukis they're just behind. I mean, 3-level difference for the Terra, 2 levels down for the Shiva. Terra choosing to go that Lotus Sickle, which I understand, but it's not a very tanky item anymore. They did nerf the procs on the network, gives you quite significantly. It really doesn't give you that many protections anymore. Yeah, he's down to just 10 physical, 10 of each prot. So I mean, it's a 30 prot item, and it's cheap, and it gives you health, and it gives you all those other good stats. But it's not making you particularly tanky in this lane, along with Pridwin, another item that utility of it, super nice. The cooldown, great, but the actual prots on that item, not very high. It's just simply just too far behind at this point.
Yeah. I mean, just down to the gold department as well. Always tough in the support to have a massive level and deficit on that end. Doesn't have any of his starting items upgraded there. All basically T1s, maybe the T2. Whereas this Kuzumbo, you have starting to see him get that horrific upgrade. It has that shell starting to get upgraded, and actually it did just tick over level 15. So we'll have that option to potentially upgrade his starter item. I think all Kuzumbo should look to do here is, guys, I want to get enough gold to be able to back, get my starter upgraded, and then we just have a massive advantage in these team fights. Base benevolence is nothing compared to a fully upgraded Sentinels.
Absolutely not. Alright, so the Bakasura built Wingblade.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Alright, so when I saw that T1 item, we didn't get a chance to. No, Shy gets this turned around, almost gets it done himself. He's going to be the Hachi ult that ends up securing it. Kuzubo actually falling pretty low here, but so is Rough Marshmallow, and the Dueling Dragons come out again. Another great ultimate from this Yu Huang, just putting it work this game. Terra does get the double dash to chase out. Could be unsuccessful. Wukong's going to ult for this. There is an Oni Fury that could be taken at any point here.
Kills. We want more kills. That's all they want on the side of Kitsune. 20 to 8 in the kill department, and now they're gonna finally go back and pick up that gold fury. I mean, dude, call this Yu Hong Ray Allen from 3, because every time he is sending up those dueling dragons, he is cracking 2 or 3 of them to the dome. Junglers get traded out there, and just when you thought maybe there's some light for the Flaming Tanukis, a lot of the Kitsune were low. The Yu Hong comes up big again, 8-0 and 9 on the side of this mid laner.
Yeah, Yu Hong just going absolutely massive this game. Has, you know, it almost full build. When you look at the builds on the side of Tanukis, nobody is close to full build. Yu Hong is, you know, 1,200 gold off of his full build here. I don't know how they ever kill him at this point in the game, honestly.
As his Pyromancer's getting pulled real quick here, we'll kind of wait and see how this goes, but more than likely will fall to Kitsune as none of the Tanukis are here. That on her damage, is there a digit missing? I'm thinking maybe there's a bug or something there. 5,700 damage on the side of this on her.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rough one. Yeah, the on her is going full crit as well. Is going
yeah.
I assume executioner and do
Yeah,
that ornate arrow.
That's an interesting one. That's like going crit on like Chiron or AMC. You know, you don't really.
Yeah, can't feel great. A little questionable on the side of Kolopsky here. Along with the Wingblade, when he started that T1, I thought he was going Toxic Blade. And I was like, sure, they just buffed Toxic Blade. They do have a lot of healing on the enemy team. Blade, I mean...
They do have a lot of slows. They also have a lot of slows. If you think about it, Kuzenbo,
they do.
You got Kamazad, Sun Wukong, and Anher. Basically, every god on their team has a slow except for Yu Hong.
It is a lot of slows, but I can't think that if you really wanted that type of effect, surely just a Magi's is just better in that spot. I mean,
yeah, maybe. Magi's would be pretty relatively decent into this Kuzenbo, who's making it very difficult for this Bakasura to be able to perform. But again, like I said, right, he's gonna have to have an amazing performance in these games, right? Like he's gonna have a tough time in any one of these gods when diving. I like what Kitsune did here. Kitsune taking that Titan down and then running straight over to fire, pulling them in, baiting them in for a fight with a massive lead. Ult's getting expended there, but another Dueling Dragons cracks Ninja to the dome piece. Goodbye, you're dead. Horse, Cavalry Charge gets him out there, but Shiva is going to get left on an island. Sorry, buddy, you're not going to be able to dance your way out of this one, and he will fall on the beacon. Kolopsky picking up Rough Marshmallow there. Add about 500 damage to Kolopsky there as he finally ticks over past Terra in the damage chart. But this is the mid lane show here. Coming into this one, everyone was talking about Skull might be a little too much in this mid 2v2. But hey, Mr. Yu Hong saying, what about me, buddy? I'm a menace too.
Yeah, I mean, neither backliner from the side of has had a whole lot of success in this game. I do think that's largely impacted the fact that, yeah, there's a very large Wukong and Kamazats and Kuzuno just barreling down at them this whole game. Terra gonna try and get in here. I mean, just has the wall, sets him up. Though actually, Skull has walked too far forwards, as has Big Green Leaf, going to fall for their trouble. Leaf might get out. Ooh. He finally misses. He's human. He's human.
Yeah,
he missed
one. He can bleed. He can bleed as he has fallen. TP coming in. Oh no, Mr. Shiva, what are you doing, buddy? TP coming through. The dance has started, but the dance won't last long. He's gonna fall here any second. Interesting choice to TP in when your entire team died / had to back, but maybe he gets out. The Kitsune side, oh yeah, he's gonna fall. There you go. Yu Hong coming in and says, "All right, guys, I'll clean this one up too." I mean, two dead on the side of Kitsune, or on the side of Flaming Tanuki. Sorry. I mean, I would have definitely liked to see Kitsune just push there, right? Have a man advantage. You definitely would have liked to see them maybe push up mid or this solo side and get a T2. But instead, gonna back, gonna spend that gold lead. I mean, surely at this point, it's gonna be very difficult for Kitsune side to lose. They're gonna have to troll a couple sieges, I feel like, in order for this game to get turned back on its head.
Yeah, I mean, the gold lead's not insane. 9,000 gold's a lot of gold. Don't get me wrong, but oftentimes at this point in the game, I feel like it's closer to like 15, 20,000 gold lead with how big it is.
Almost just sold him.
Cult, yeah, massive sprint there from the Terra. Massive sprint. But the Yuhong ult is going to get quite a bit out there. Should make this tier 2 go down for free in the mid lane. Not much resistance being up here by the Tanukis. Maybe the saving grace here for the side of Tanukis is the build from Kolopsky. Not going to shred those towers or phoenixes as fast as you're probably hoping that your ADC would at this point in the game. Doesn't have much attack speed at all in that build, or pen.
Yeah, but he is going to shred Gauze as nobody deciding to opt for anti-crit, even though kind of already got slotted in. It was that Wind Demon in that Force Slide and then Deathbringer. So until Shiva gets that anti-crit online, this on her is going to be able to do damage. Is he going to be able to apply that damage? That's what's going to be the real tell here. But I mean, but besides for this gold lead, you talked about this gold lead, the level lead also is relatively massive. This solo laner, not even level 20 yet, doesn't have his upgraded bluestone, so his damage numbers are going to be even worse, though still top of his team. But I mean, it's kind of this Terra. This Terra is not tanky at all and is just getting blown up instantly in every single team fight.
Yeah, Terra needs that start ASAP. I mean, even them probably going kick potentially here onto the Wukong. Barely gets up into that cloud. Should be okay. Good attempt from the Tanukis here. This same, maybe thinking this is the best fight that they're going to get. The Terra ultimate used aggressively. Wukong forced just 3 away, and now Adora is in diving. Health bars kind of low for a few members here, but eventually Tanukis realizing they used all their ultimates. They couldn't quite get it done there, so just back it up, don't fight into that Fire Giant sustain.
Yeah, I like what Kuzumbo is doing. He's doing exactly what we said, right? You're seeing this guy dash in. You're seeing this, or you're seeing the blinks come in and the ultimates coming in from Ninja. Instantly just ults right back and just says, nah, you're not doing any damage, buddy. I'm sorry. That is the issue with picking Bakasura so early in a draft, right? If you top two a Bakasura, especially picking it into Kuzumbo when they locked at second, so he had the option to not go the Bakasura. This is kind of the counter matchup you're gonna see. This Kuzumbo can just hunt you down. He doesn't have to look really for anybody else, right? He just needs to pick one person he wants to run at all game, and he's picking this Bakasura, and that is the correct choice. T2 Tower is another choice that the Kitsune are going to decide on, and maybe potentially this left bird, as they do see Bakasura is going to pop up on this wave, but no. Instead of sieging, they back up to back. But
yeah, Fire
I
Giant was about to fall off there. Wukong getting his health forced out again is just tanky enough that he's going to get away. It should be okay here. Charlo getting a little bit low as well, but should be a reset and go back to that enhanced Fire Giant that will be spawning in here very shortly, just about 30 seconds. Do you think I'd like to see Midgard on the Kuzumbo? Cause he was thinking about damage. Sold the tier 1 spear. Is going for what I assume will be a pestilence.
or it might be glory or whatever. No, what's it called? Amulet of Stronghold.
Oh,
That might
Amulet
be-
of Stronghold.
maybe.
Amulet of Stronghold could be okay here. I didn't see a lot, but that actually is probably pretty good on Kuzumbo in this matchup. I can't say I have a whole lot of experience in when Amulet of the Stronghold is good. I don't know when the last time I saw that item built was.
Yeah, it's been a minute. It's been an interesting minute. You see that niche pick up on a couple of gods potentially that don't really get a whole lot of magical prot. So instead, just kind of go that item to subsidize that magical prot type of option there. I mean, it is gonna be interesting. I don't think you should go anti-heal. I don't think there is an insane amount of healing to where you need to go multiple forms of anti-heal. Though you do really only have that divine ruin. But hey, who needs anti-heal when you're sending people to the grave? 1 kill, 2 kills from the side of this Yulong. Pushing down the right lane, Adora up into the sky, just chasing Skull out, and now turning his sights back. 1 bird is gonna fall, potentially 2 birds, as this is a 3v5. Okay, Mr. Soul Laner, what are you doing there? He falls too, doesn't even have the anti-crit finish, doesn't have his starter item finish. This looks like Kitsune are gonna take it here. Oof. I thought he was gonna die.
Yeah, not sure they can end here. Mid lane are very low, along with both frontliners. If I'm Kitsune here, I am good. Send your people back to base, get your health back, and just go take your EFG. It should be relatively free. You know, still dead for 20 seconds on the side of Tanukis. Get your health back, go get that enhanced fire giant, get the last bird. Easy game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're gonna have to kind of make a, a hero play here, as you would say here on the side of Flaming Tanukis. Maybe, like, I don't even think sending in 1 to 2 people to scale Fire Giant and die is going to be an option. I still think they can end in a 4v5. They can end in a 4v3 type of scenario here. I mean, they're gonna have to kill this on her, and they're gonna have to kill this Yuhong. Easier said than done, as both haven't died since around probably, I want to say, the 15-minute mark, when the Anher finally decided to, you know, start grouping with his teammates here. But I mean, this Yulong, we were talking about how it's not really that good of a pick, doesn't excel at anything, but he is making this god look like it's a must-pick or ban in this meta.
I mean, if you're hitting absolutely every single Dueling Dragons, then, yo, you deserve the pick, man. I mean, he has not missed outside of, you know, a stray 1 or 2. He's probably got an 80% connection rate on that ultimate, which is honestly just hard to do. Hasn't been under the most pressure this game, you know, has been, you know, for the most part, just kind of standing where he wants to the cast, but still, absolutely the right targets at the right time from his Yulong.
Yeah, Yulong having that perfect game here. I mean, look. When your ADC is dropping a 9k damage bomb on the side of your team, and you're still up almost 20k gold, that's when you know that you're doing some godly work. Left bird is going to be the target here, though. Kitsune looking to maybe strip this bird and end this game. EFG around all 5. Flaming Tanukis, though, they're not getting the memo. They're only 4 strong here. They're gonna have to take this fight. You can't just sack this bird and let waves push in. This is the best time. Make them tank this bird and kind of start an engagement off of that. Yeah. But I like what Kitsune are doing. They're playing it safe. They're waiting for these Oni fire waves to push up, and then they're gonna more than likely siege.
Yeah, that Oni fire wave in right, especially. Baka can clear this one in mid semi-safely, but that one in right, nobody is going to be able to clear safely. Only to have to send somebody likely that Baka syrup.
And here they go, stepping in. They are taking a lot of poke, though, is Adora. Kolobsky focusing his damage onto the tanks, but he's buying so much time. This is the one thing that Shiva can sort of do when in that ultimate is buy time. Sun Wukong up, dunks down on the backliner. No peels coming through, but they don't need any. Skull picks up 1 kill on the Kolobskis, and ADCs get traded out. Shiva is very healthy and alive. Blink coming through on Adora, but not healthy anymore as he falls. Ninja picks up the Sun Wukong, and this just turned into a slugfest that may benefit the side of the Flaming Tanukis. Waves, though, are pouring in, and this Titan is about half HP. Rightbird is up. Are they going to send someone over to defend it, or are they just going to sack it?
Yeah, the ping's coming out here, realizing that they have the EFG sustain good strife. They're going to make this difficult, but minion wave coming in. Bakasura has gone back to defend, though. Looks like he is sacking the bird and coming to this fight. Wants to try and hold on to it. The Kuzenbo falls down here, but so does the bird. Dueling Dragons missed the first time in this fight, but he was not going to miss a second time. The Bakasura regurgitate.
Guys, minions.
Minions are killing their Titan. It is just a Terra, and that should just be game
over. Yeah.
Charlo has respawned. 2 birds came up momentarily, which did slow down those minions just a little bit. And Dora going to try and get this bird. Should
And well,
get
yeah, he still has
free
FG.
here.
Still has EFG around the waist. Still is gonna be a lot of damage, but beads coming out. But who cares? 3 birds down, and your Titan can get sneezed on and murdered. I mean, again, we've been talking about it that Kitsune is slowly expanding this lead and more than likely not going to lose. But I mean, at this stage of the game, you're 38 minutes in, 3 birds down. Titan's at what, 800, 900 HP. There's almost no chance that Kitsune can lose this unless somehow 3 other Xbox controllers turn off during the siege. I don't think they're losing this one.
Yeah, it would be rather impressive to lose this game at this point. That Titan is so weak. No matter how you want to do it, you have enough time. EFG's up in a minute, and you definitely could just sit and wait for your EFG. You probably should, because the only way you lose this game is if you rush in as 5 and you somehow get wiped. Somehow.
And rushing down mid as they are, they have the Titans lifeline on the lookout here. Just gonna kind of step in. Don't really care what actors are down. Don't really care about ultimates. Blink coming through. Shiva understands the memo. Hey, we can't let him walk into this room. Big ultimate coming through. Does hit the backliners, and it does spread. But Adora going back in. He says, look, guys, I may be half HP, but I'm still healthy. Sun Wukong ends the game like a scumbag, blinking in on the Titan. Burn Blink ends it. He backdoored.
Man, what is up with OSL teams and backdooring these last couple of weeks? I feel like it has been everywhere in sets we broadcast, in scrims, just so much backdooring, guys.
Scumbaggery stuff right there. I mean, look, one thing too that I'd like to say, this Terra, I didn't mind the Terra pick. I actually really enjoy like the Terra pick. He's got to build tankier earlier. He was getting absolutely melted in these late game team fights, had almost no prots associated, and also opted for heroism. There's not a lot of CC on the dive of them, right? Adora's not going to proc heroism. As long as Sun Wukong doesn't really use his 3 as like a means of damage, that won't proc heroism either, just kind of tracking people down. So I mean, I definitely would have liked to see the compassion, right? Get more ways to keep your backliners alive by transferring damage over to yourself instead opting for that heroism, which might have been a questionable choice.
Yeah, hero a great choice in this game, in my opinion. Klopsky owes his team something.
Yeah. He's got to take him out to dinner after that performance. Like, what was the damage numbers at the end there for Klopsky?
12K.
12K. Yeah, that's criminal. Lowest, almost lowest in the entire game. Yeah, Klopsky. Yeah, you at Worlds, you better find them and you better pay them for all their dinners. You better pay for their beers, everything.
Absolutely. I think we're going to jump to a quick break here before we hop back into game 2 of the set. We'll be right back.
goodbyes. Of course you love me now, but give it time. Who knows? You might not be in my life. We never see it coming when we try. Love is blind. You can break the pattern, learn from your mistakes, focus on what matters, do whatever it takes. You could look for answers, you could even change, but if something isn't meant to be, then we must learn to set it free. And I'm not negative, just realistic. I'm not a pessimist, I'm indifferent. Wounded. We never see it coming when we try. Love is blind. You can break the pattern, learn from your mistakes, focus on what matters, do whatever it takes. You could look for answers, you could even change, but if something isn't meant to be, then we must learn to set it free. Hellos, they're a lot like goodbyes. Of course you love me now, but give it time. You were always so good at being an actor, making it last just long enough. Playing a game you always won, you never even taught me the rules. You tried to break me down, put this all on me, tried to make me out to be crazy, and I played along 'cause I didn't wanna lose you. But I think this dream was rotten at its core. Tried to fix these things, patch it up like before, but I was the fool. Went down with a sinking not a saint. You mad? Your sugar coated doll is not so pure. My bad. I don't give a. You stepping on me and they call my mama. Touch you better than that. You're mad. I guess you're mad. Wore my best pajama for this drama. Why you talking like that? Like that, like that. I'm not gonna spend the night. I'm talking. You got bad things on your mind. Keep walking. Spit your words on someone else. Don't act like you're so obsessed with me, with me. You know that I ain't coming back. I'm sorry. Read my lips. You do not like that. You're drowning without me.
And we are back. These two teams might be top of the division, but my goodness, did Kitsune make the Flaming Tanukis look like a team that isn't up to the standards of them? Both teams 5-1, but Kitsune making it look light work there in game number 1.
Absolutely, that mid lane performance, especially coming out of yeah, Umbakum. However we say that name,
No,
we're
yeah,
gonna pretend
don't
that
even
doesn't
say it.
exist.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. None of those names that we're saying today, bro. We're not getting clipped. We're not getting shipped. None of it. All right.
Absolutely, dude. Did have an absolutely massive performance on that Hugh Huang. Curious to see if they decide that they don't want to let him play it again. I mean, it's definitely not a meta character, but if somebody comes out and drops 14-0 and 13, maybe you think about it here.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, hey, you may. I mean, if they don't top 3 it, I may just say, hey, lock it in again here in the top 3. Who cares? Like, right? Like, if you're going to like you said, like 13-0 and 18, surely you just top 3 to not care, right? Like, who, like he luckily got it in the second phase of those picks and bans there. But I mean, if it's not going through the second phase of these bans, as a lot of the bans do look relatively the same, we see a little bit of a flex ban here, going for that Sun Wukong instead. But again, junglers are the choice of bans. I don't understand why, if your first pick, you're banning Ravana. Surely you make the other team do that.
Yeah, it's an interesting amount of people that don't really play that pick, which kind of blows my mind because personally don't think he's that hard to play. But it is going to be the Kali that's let through. Choose to ban the Jormungandr. My opinion, Yorm's really good. Don't get me wrong, but I think Kali's
Kali.
quite a bit better.
Yeah, I definitely think that Yorm has a little bit more of counterplay into Kali. If you kind of put the right comp around her, is going to be really tough to play into. That god just excels into the late game, and right now in the current Smite meta, games are going relatively past that 26-minute mark almost every single time. So Kali is going to get to late game unless she really just throws that early to mid game. But look, there are some counter matchups on the side that they can take. Ganesha is open, but instead they're gonna look to hover this Kuzenbo. I mean, Kuzenbo, not really the best matchup in the Kali. When Kali ults is a little bit is that knockup immune, but does have that dash, is gonna have ways to kind of expel Kali from wanting to die. But then also going for a more safer pick in this Hachiman, which I really like to see. Gonna be able to keep the distance from that Kali with that ultimate. So this is a good top 2 in my opinion. They understood the issues from last game and they're kind of addressing them.
Yeah, definitely. I think the Hachiman looked pretty good for Charlotte last game as well. Looked very comfortable using that ult and yeah, more generally being in the right positions on the pick. Coming back around here, we did see the Wukong and the Yorm taken away. There, leaves the likes of the Tears, the Achilles, the potentially a Shiva. Though not too sure that anyone wants to see Shiva again
Yeah.
after last game. Uh, my opinion, looking more towards that tier or that Achilles, but a Morrigan hover, not a pick that you
I
see
don't.
super often.
I
Usually
don't
when
know.
you do see it, also like pretty late in drafts, often where you have good good transformations, and you have some of the problematic jungle matchups gone. Are
I.
still thinking about it.
There we go. There we go. That's what I wanted to see there. I wanted to see that instantly locked in the Yu Hong again. But yeah, I was not gonna like that Morgan pick, right? I think Kuzenbo would have been able to just instantly run at that Morgan and just make her life a living hell. So I'm really happy they decided not to go for that. Instead, go back to the god that he didn't die on and dropped a nuke on. You know?
Absolutely. Love seeing Collapsi go towards this
Circuit.
drama too as well. Get away from the honor.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You had your game of fun. You won. But
Yeah,
your mid laner put you in the backpack.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
will carry you to this victory. Let's
He,
not put that much pressure on your mid laner
Yeah,
again.
he reached deep into the bag of picks there in game one. Yeah, he definitely needs to close that bag back up and it's kind of, skim off at the top. And Rama is a pick that Kolobsky likes playing, has played a decent amount of that Rama and flexes back into that. Serket getting locked in. Serket, we saw her kind of top of the meta, top pick, top ban in SPL for a little bit there, though. Did see some nerfs coming through, and with this change in the shift in the meta, is a little interesting, right? Because you can't really build full tank on her and do a whole lot of damage in this current meta. So Serket's really kind of in this odd place of, do I want to build full damage to be able to do damage, or do I just become like a secondary support going into the late game?
So here's what I'm hoping happens. Personally, I absolutely love Serket and Kali. Whenever Kali is meta and ranked, and I'm playing jungle, which isn't that often, but when I used to play jungle a little bit more, I would let people pick Kali, pick Serket, and my entire existence was I am ulting Kali when she ults. And
Mm-hmm.
most of the time, you win the game
Yeah,
because
oh,
she
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
heal. She doesn't heal. It doesn't matter if she gets her kills. She doesn't heal. It's, in my opinion, a pretty effective way to deal with Kali ult is you just Serket ult her, and there's nothing she can do. So I would prefer to see a tank and just play that. I'm going to Serket ult the Kali, and then I'm going to throw some CC, and I've done my job. So we'll see. We'll see. Where Ninja goes with the style of pick, but I do like the pick in this matchup.
Achilles and Agni getting banned there. So no changes really on the sides of the Kitsune on their second phase of bans, but a little bit of flex on the side of the Flaming Tanukis choices, instead opting to target ban out these supports, taking away the Ganesha, which in my opinion is a top 3 support right now in this meta. So to see the
Athena.
Elephant Man fall to the second phase of P's and B's and not even get looked at is rough to see. And then Geb, more of that backliney style there, works relatively good with a Kali too. Can kind of just three that Kali and let her go crazy on the backline. So looking to option throw that away. And then, RDO, please don't lock that in.
Oh, oh no. It's, I mean, I understand it here, why you would think it's okay. It's Athena tier. Surely Ardio's good. That character is just so bad, man.
That
It's
character does nothing.
you just die. You don't do enough damage. You aren't tanky enough. Like, sure, you have some annoying CCs. The cripple, of course, would be good here. But you just get Athena taunted and insta killed. I think in this game, or tier pushed if you don't get that. If you get blinked on, and don't get that cripple out. Catch you standing in the bear stance. Just don't think Ardio is good right now. I don't. I prefer to see an Ares solo Ardio.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I'd rather see anything else. You can slot a mage over there,
I
and
would
they
like
lock it in.
RTO.
Oh goodness. Okay, so the thought process here is Tyr has a lot of dash abilities. So let me play a cripple god and just cripple him, and then he can't do anything, right? That's what you think on paper. It's not that's not what is going to happen. This Tyr is going to have an okay time. We'll probably struggle in the early game and the laning phase, but late game in the team fights is going to have a relatively easy time here. I mean, maybe they're going to go for the option of this. Hey, late game, my solo laner is going to flex back into a more supporty style, and we're going to let this Kuzenbo dive, right? Which could be fine, right? If Kuzenbo does decide to build for himself, right? It will really depend on what actives and what build choices Kuzenbo kind of goes for. Because, I mean, in the end, Rough Marshmallow can just kind of flex into a support role in the late game.
yeah, I could see a almost pseudo role swap, but if it is the Kusunba that's frontlining, I mean, then he's gonna be in. Obviously he's in support. He's not going to be as tanky as you would want your soul in Kuzenbo. I mean, honestly, I think they could have almost, if they really wanted the RDO, you almost could have actually just swapped them and put the RDO in support and say you are just here to be a cripple. We don't
Yeah.
need you to do anything else, and then let your Kuzenbo get tanky enough that he's going to be able to, do the Kuzenbo thing. Obviously, would probably not have a great time in lane against Tier. Probably a pretty horrible lane. but would at least still be allowed to get tanky enough. So we'll have to see how they decide to play these fights in the late game. We're gonna ask the question because we have to ask the question, but I think we know our answer on who's draft you like more here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to side with Kitsune. I will say this about the Flaming Tanukis: if they do what I said, if they do kind of what we, what we just brainstormed there, where Kuzenbo opts for this blink, opts for thorns in the second slot here, he can basically be that pseudo dive himself and almost one-shot a backliner just with thorns, his ultimate alone, right? So I think if they kind of flex with that option, they do have a little bit more that they're working off of in the late game. But if they just kind of have this RDO diving as like a secondary dive with Ninja, I don't know where the damage is going to come onto these backliners in order to get any kills.
Yeah, it could be a little bit of a troublesome dive. Circuit, almost might have to go full damage this game just to get enough damage out into that backline. If it is that Bruiser Circuit build, not going to be 100 to 0 carries, and RDO is not going to be 100 to 0ing anybody either. It'll be a little bit rough for the side of Tanukis. Also, as we get loaded into game here, that's a stance of time on RDO.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't know, man. The laning phase is done for him now, I fear.
Just buy conduit, man.
Buy Axe, buy Vamp, buy anything. Heck, even buy Tainted, man. They have some healing on their team, right? They do anything else. Sands of Time. What is that? Is he going alternate timeline? What's he going?
I swear, we see an alternate timeline RDO. I will resign from all of my positions in OSL. You can have them. I don't want it. We see an alternate timeline RDO.
Ref Marshmallow, and he goes beads. Yo, this man does not want
He needs beads. No, I'm defending the beads. RDO needs beads, just as a character.
Yeah, but he's not tanky, man. So he's not tanky. He doesn't have TP. That's going to be a rough laning phase. But hey, only time will tell as game number 1 has started. And now we are at the best stage of the game in Smite, where we watch people smack buffs and smack some waves for about 3 minutes before anything of importance happens.
I mean, probably. Looking at starters again, it is another. Is going to be that compassion coming out, the benevolence from the side of Kitsune, but this time picking into that Circuit and that Kuzenbo, two characters that can actually proc heroism pretty consistently. It's like that quite a bit more. We do see Warbanner coming out on the side of Kuzenbo. A lot of damage onto Ninja, just barely out of range of that Pong one. Could have been a little sneaky first blood there. I love Warbanner on Kuzenbo. I think that starter is very viable now after the buffs. Everything Kuzenbo wants to do is helped by that Warbanner, or the War Flag into the banner.
Yeah. It's not Warbanner yet. If you can upgrade to Warbanner level 2, I would say that,
it would be OP.
Are OP, yeah. But I mean, Ninja XK having a little bit of a struggle in these early games. Isn't really understanding these mid 2v2 matchups. Is taking a lot of poke. Will get out though, because that's just kind of. Oh, never mind. He won't get out. Blades coming through and Adora kills. Yeah, as I was saying, right? You have a Tiamat. Tiamat is terrible early game. You shouldn't be fighting. Just kind of sack those waves back, let them go instead. He just presses up again and his life will fall. And you don't want to feed a Kali early. We were talking about the things she can do late game, but if you give her a lead, that's only going to start to happen in the mid game.
Yeah, you're just accelerating that timeline of when you cannot deal with the Kali. It's now, 2 minutes sooner or whatever that this Kali is just unkillable and doing way too much damage. No, Circuit still does not have her jumped, by the way. It went the taunt at level 2, which is, I think, the entirety of the reason that they fell down for the first blood. No jump available.
What is it?
He's
Farm,
level
Ninja.
4. What are you going
Farm,
to do to
Ninja.
him?
Farm, brother. Hop on a camp.
Your camps are up, chests are up. Like, go share a mid-wave. Just hit level 3, man.
Yeah. Oh, who would have thought the RDO is also really low in the solo lane. All pots used. We'll have the back soon. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of
is
this.
Marshmallow dead here?
Yeah, Marshmallow is dead. Yep.
Oh, the stun! Oh,
Yeah,
he's
never
out.
mind. He said
1 HP and
he said dead who? He said dead who?
Uh,
29 HP.
Yep.
It was probably even
49
less than that.
HP.
It was probably
Not
15.
close.
It was probably like 15 when it ended.
You know he was clenching when those blue stone ticks came through.
So please, no.
Let me just get the tier 2 breastplate. Should make things a tad bit easier, but I mean this tier is just going to have a field day in this lane, I think.
And his
yes,
blue gun
you can
faded.
cripple. Yeah, now you're an RDO with no blue buff. Hey man, that's what the Sands of Time was for. He knew his blue buff was going to be taken away, so he went Sands of Time.
Yeah. For the
So that he
MP5.
still has the MP5.
That's
Absolutely
true.
Giga Brain.
Yeah, Giga Brain indeed. Will that benefit in the late game? Absolutely not at all. But hey, it does bring a little bit of early game sustain to that solo lane where apparently he foreseen the potential invades. Ninja almost dying to that speed buff, but able to secure it there on the backside. I mean, these junglers though, they have been relatively behind both games on the leveling curve a little bit. I don't know if that's due to just like excitement to want to fight in this early game or just not farming camps as efficiently, but both junglers have kind of been seeing like them ticking over to 5 a little bit later than normal.
Yeah, definitely just a little bit of neglecting farm. I think both of them really have been prioritizing those blue buffs and not getting their camps that come up right before said blue buffs, not getting that second round of mid camps or if back camps, both of them come up before that blue buff. Did also just notice Ardio had beads and did not pop them in that fight.
Yep.
Yeah, this man's actually 300 IQ. Surely he just knew he was fine. Surely.
Yeah. I mean that's why he's on a 5-1 team or a 4-1 team. Sorry. That's why
neither
he's
of us are on
4-1.
4-1 teams. You're right.
Yeah. I'm trash. I'm 3-2, and you're what? 0-6?
2 and 3.
No, you're 2 and 3
Alright,
now.
we're
Yeah.
not on the team anymore. We're 2 and 3.
Yeah. You've gone to a new home, but you're 0 and 5, right? Or did you? Oh no, you won at Kitsune last week, right?
No, we did not.
Oh yeah, so yeah, you're 0 and 5. Dang. Dude.
Yeah, I'm having a great season.
How the
It's
mighty
not even
have
frustrating
fallen.
at all. Now that everything's fine.
No. I would be happy to be 0 and 5, honestly.
Yeah, we're making something where Kitsune's feeling pretty good right now. But,
I've been seeing in the scrims.
No one cares about me.
Liz Dexia spamming Kali and Thor every game. You gotta love to see that out of your jungler.
Hi man, that means I get to play Baba Yaga, surely.
Yeah, something like that.
Really, somebody gives me Baba. Anyway. To get back to the actual game, do you see Spear of Deso first item both mids? We've done it. We've gotten to the good items.
Yeah, no more
very
Sans
happy-
Chronos. Thank you.
Very happy to see Spear of Deso out of both junglers, along with no Transcendence this time around, going for that Jotun's meta and the traditional Golden Blade on this Kali. Everything good there. Thebes on both sides. It is still the Ornate Arrow out of both ADCs, which concerns me a little bit. We did see last game that Charlo just ignored having that starter for the did just go the full pen out of it, didn't opt into the crit side of it. Hoping the Klopsky has realized that the crit build is not good and does not go for that again this game.
I definitely think if you're gonna go the crit build though, you just go Wind Demon and then go the crit arrow. You don't decide to also opt for Deathbringer. Deathbringer, probably one of the more terrible items in the game right now, only gives 30 power. Yeah, really your only reason why you're building it is for the additional crit damage passive, but I don't really think it is worth it. Not a lot of solo laners surprisingly are building anti-crit in this current meta. I mean, what's new? Solo laners just kind of whining about this and about that, but then never building properly. But what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? It's not like they actually made Spectral OP or anything. No.
No. They didn't make that item. They didn't give that item like they didn't just give you free power on the item whenever you get critted or anything like that.
Yeah, and give your teammates anti-crit too. Not even just for you. You can build it for your backliners too. I mean, I know solo laners just like to think that their backliners are loyal. They do in fact take damage. Skull, you get taking damage. Skull holding his jump here, knowing that the Killing Dragon's coming, just gets soloed. The Circuit ult coming out as well. He falls too. Now the rest of Kitsune coming in, the support and the jungler there to make sure that the man of the hour, the Yu Huang, is staying nice and comfortable in that lane.
Skull baiting his life. Oh, Lawbringer bringing Law to the minions, and that's about it there. Triple field coming through, dash going away. But yeah, I mean, Skull tried to do the old bait and switch. Hey, mid laner, I'm in a bad position. Come kill me. Speaking of in bad positions, Charlo. Oh, not gonna get the beads costed though. There, that's the thing with Kali. Not a whole lot of damage early when you opt for that Golden Blade start. But yeah, I mean, the old bait and switch Skull tried to go for there though. Didn't get the jump off to immune the damage from the dueling dragons. Those came through and just clapped him. I want to know his percentage on dueling dragon hits. It's got to be over like 60, 65% hit rate.
He's definitely no. This man's at like 80. I swear he's missed so few of them. It's really been impressive. These last game and then the first one we've gotten to see him fire off this game. Absolutely on point with this character. I just said I know it's not meta, but when somebody's hitting that high a percentage, relatively hard ability to consistently hit, I just don't think you let him play it again. Speaking of his Skull jumping in here.
Oh, the demise coming through. He does have his 3. Use your 3, brother. He's holding.
No, his 3's down.
Oh, is it that?
Now he should be able to up down onto the TMI. Could get pushed in here by the Kitsune, but finally the jungler show up though. The Athena gets the kill. No way, he is 1 HP again. Adora comes in the back, gets himself a kill as well, and they just cannot kill this mid laner.
What did I just watch? This man is unkillable on this Yupong. That might have been the worst best play I've ever seen in my life. He definitely had his 3 up. Could have used it for probably 10 seconds to mitigate any form of damage. Decided, no, I'm gonna eat it all, and then 3 in. And then Serket blinking in there, but didn't have the beads, got stunned by Kali, does get picked up and dropped. I mean, this is about this worst case scenario for the side of the Flaming Tanukis, right? You give this Kali a massive lead now. You give this mid laner, who didn't die last game, a massive lead again this game on the same god. I mean, again, this might be another game where Klopsy does like 10k damage and they just win.
It could be. I mean, right now he's dead even with his lane opponent. Not a whole lot going on here, but the gank is heading Klopsky's way. Good dash away. Looks like he did hear the Kitsune coming up, able to get out of that one. A-okay. Is even in damage right now. Nothing too much to speak of right there. Really, pretty much everyone close except for this Yu-Hong. How often do you see a mid laner top damage in the game at 10 minutes? Not too often anymore.
Yeah, not often at all, but I mean, hey, when you're just kind of throwing bodies at him, he'll stack up that player damage. Leads coming in across the board for the side of Kitsune. The only level lead that doesn't exist is in that dual lane. As you kind of see what Tyr can do against RDO, I don't even care.
Away.
I'm just gonna stand here and let you hit me with abilities. It doesn't matter. I mean, again, I do want to see how if the Tanukis can get the late game and it's not a massive deficit, I want to see how they're going to transition their comp. As we said earlier, I mean, RDO not really building support, kind of building for themselves, which is fine, but I would like to see Kuzenbo, though, go maybe Blink or Thorn second to kind of run this backline. Lawbringer coming through, but beads will be traded out. Rough Marshmallow finally using those beads.
No, he remembered he had them. He did the calculations, unlike last time where he clearly calculated that he's going to live with about 15 HP. This time, ran the numbers, was not going to live. So he uses beads. A wise choice to use the route that you bought. Oracle's going down here. Important as Kitsune could realistically start looking at this Gold Fury pretty soon. They are up about 3,500 in gold and don't have a big lead in ADC. Obviously, your mid lane is so huge at this point. Just one more pick in this mid lane should be a Gold Fury for free. Beacon spawning now. Gotta think that this fight should be Kitsune pretty hard. Great taunt there from the Athena.
Caught the taunt there, or caught the dash there on the side of Ninja, but Ninja safely gonna get out, didn't have to expend to anything. Then Adora on the backline, take a lot of poke there. He does have ultimate, so he should be fine. Athena all coming through for the mitigations, but all that was just a ruse as the Stygian Beacon has fallen to the side of Kitsune.
Absolutely. I mean, you saw how much damage the Tiamat did to the Athena there. It tickled the Athena. I understand this double flat pen start. It lets you hit the other mid laner really hard. You do nothing to front line for until you're full build, really, if you opt for this double flat pen. There's full committing to I am hitting the mid laner and the ADC and absolutely nobody else. Good Hunter caught the dash. Charlotte going to have to ult out there. Does hold on to the beads. The snipes are good. So he make it up for last game. Hits all 3 snipes and he needed to hit
He did
all
it,
3.
boys.
Yeah,
That's
got a
that right.
highlight reel.
Aye. So all of last game's performance, that's the highlight reel of the 2 games combined right there. One play. I mean, look, Kitsune, they're kind of just dominating now. I don't know if the Flaming Tanukis were a little a little tilted after that last game. It's looking way rougher for the side of the Tanukis in this game. I don't know if that's due to kind of the same thing. These these comps here is, Tears is kind of saying, I don't really care about your damage. But I don't know if it's due to the comp or just like what. But I mean, the Tanukis last game, they were dominating the early game and then just kind of fumbled the bag in the mid game. But this game, all Kitsune right from the get-go.
Yeah, absolutely. Kitsune just looking dominant so far. Would like to see them start looking at these objectives sooner rather than later. You have such a big lead in the mid lane and now have a pretty good lead in duo as well. Support's up 2 levels, your ADC's up a level, your jungler's up 2 levels as well. Would really like to see them get active on these objectives. Don't let Flaming Tanukis get back into this game.
Yeah. I mean, well, if the Flaming Tanukis get back into this game, it might be a way more competitive type of game in these 5v5 team fights. As I said, they do have a lot of CC on the side of the Tanukis. They are going to be able to lock a target down and kind of shred them. Tiamat, once she gets the late game, is just going to be able to pump out those damage numbers. Same thing with this Hachiman, right? But the thing is, are they going to be able to get to that late game, right? As of right now, they are down about 5k gold, and at 15 minutes, 5k gold feels like 10k. It is rough.
Yeah, it is a lot of gold for this early in the game. Can we take a look at net worth, if you don't mind, Wolfie? I'm just curious how everyone is stacking up here. Yeah, that Yuhong is 2,000 or about 1,500 gold up. Take a look at the solo lane. Solo laner actually only up about 700. Not the worst, but yeah, Ninja down there below the support of Kitsune. Not feeling great. Is going what I assume will be a hybrid here based on the rune forge, the second item.
Yeah.
An interesting pickup for the Circuit.
Yeah. I don't know if I like that early rune forge there. I would definitely would have liked to see a Pridwin, right? Just get that max cooldown as quickly as possible.
Binding.
Yeah, or even binding, exactly right. I definitely like the Pridwin though. He is getting gone on quite a lot, so just having his abilities up as quickly as possible to be able to spam wouldn't be too bad. And again, as you said, he really is just looking to ult this Kali every single team fight. So hey, getting 40% cooldown to be able to spam those ults onto a Kali that's not gonna have any cooldown is gonna be very beneficial to them in the late game. Okay, buddy, can you stop bullying? Can you stop bullying him here? All right, we get it. He can't kill you, but come on.
Yeah, I think the team just having a good time in the lane. I respect it. I think he's been jumping more than he's pressing his buttons. Does he finally fall? Circuit is on for a ride with the Yuhan there, committing so much, but the Athena ult coming through is beautiful. He misses the combo, misses most of the ult. Circuit's going to have Kit back up here very shortly. Yukong did use that 3 aggressively. Can he land the combo? Not quite, but now Circuit is out of options here. Should fall down if the autos come through. No way. Okay.
I'm pretty sure we just saw like 3 or 4 missed ults there.
I think the only one that hit was the Circuit ult, and you can't miss it unless you ultimate it.
Yeah, exactly. And Athena ult, I guess, hit too, right? Because you can't really miss that ult either.
Yeah. Gold Fury getting looked at here. The burn is not super fast here, though. The Yuhong's just hanging out in mid lane while they chase him out. I mean, support probably would have appreciated you coming over, but the zone was so good from that tier and the Kali that Tanukis wanted no part of that Gold Fury.
Yeah, Kitsune just kind of dominating the lead, kind of putting their foot on the gas here, you know, really pushing it further. T1 Tower falls and left, Gold Fury falls, Stygian Beacon gonna spawn soon too, and I'm gonna go ahead and guess that will probably fall to the side of Kitsune too, as we don't really want to see a level 13 Circuit trying to fight here in the mid game. But I do like what Ninja did there, right? He understood. I'm level 13. I'm level like 12 at the time when maybe he did that dive. He goes, I'm gonna try to kill this level 18 mid laner because that shutdown is going to be massive for me to be able to get back into this game.
100%.
A little off the mark there though. Wasn't able to pick it up. Missed the one. I think maybe if he hit the full duration of that one, maybe would have been able to pick up the kill there. But not enough damage coming through there though. But I like those type of plays. Those are gonna be the type of plays that get you back into this game, not just kind of sitting back and watching. Beacon fight coming through there, and my goodness, Kuzumo, where does your HP pool go through? Hits the dueling dragons again. Goodbye, Ninja. As I said, he shouldn't come up and contest. He did, and he got obliterated.
Just got a farm, man. He's level 13. I mean, I understand you're going the hybrid build, but you're not tanky still. Rune Force just gives you that health, doesn't give you any of those procs, just the procs from the Pridwin. That Circuit just needs to go find a lane somewhere quiet and just farm some minion waves for a while. Good taunt gets the bees off of the Tiamat, and Charlo is just deleted. Rough Marshmallow in the back is able to finally get Tanukis on the board. They are at least not getting completely blanked, but in the Fearless going a ton of damage. Klopski getting credit for the kill there. It's a 2-for-1 and a mid lane tier 2 going the way of Kitsune.
Even Kitsune is making the Tanukis bleed and making them bleed often, picking up 4 kills there on the side of Kitsune and only losing their support. I think the support, you know, he's okay with that, right? If he dies, your team gets a T1, a T2 beacon, and trades 4. I think he'll accept that. Pyromancer's still up though. I would have liked to see maybe Tsuki's rush over to that as Kitsune was relatively low, but instead just gonna farm safely. Kolofsky gonna rotate over though, so Kitsune probably gonna get another objective, expend this lead even more. It is now 8k gold. We were talking earlier how it was only 5k, but this lead slowly going up the charts there though. As you see that number slowly rising. Well, at 15 minutes was 5, so about 2k in 5 minutes.
Tiamat gonna throw a tornado over the wall isn't going to really impact much here. Pyromancer should go down here to Kitsune, and it does, pushing that gold lead just a little bit farther along with getting that really pump. And now the Kuzenbo gets crippled by the Rama. Dueling Dragons come out, the Rama snipes come out as well. Perhaps a little bit of overkill. Lawbringer used there as well. A lot of cooldowns for a level 13 turtle, but he does fall down. Fire Giant looks like it's next up for the side of Kitsune. They are starting.
This is where the potential troll can happen on the side of Kitsune. This Athena isn't relatively tanky right now with her build. Only has 2 defense items, so they can maybe look to make a defense here. They are hovering, are posturing. But I like this Kitsune maybe not looking for this Fire Giant. Instead, maybe looking to take the fight, but no. Athena dashes away, and all that poke and nothing. I like this though. Hop off. Circuit doing some damage to this Kali. Ult coming through. Blink and the stun, but again, no damage with this dive. This is what I was talking about. Dive is not going to do a lot of damage when you have an RDO and a tank Circuit. Not even forced to use beads or ultimate is the Kali, and is still sitting at just above half HP.
Kali's thinking about going back in.
And
there's
going
the
in, they
tier
are.
ult. Tier ult and the blink afterwards, none of it connecting. Athena ult used as well. So many abilities, so few of them connecting, but the Kali does finally catch up thanks to a great taunt from this Athena. Health bars are low, but the ultimate doesn't get channeled. Watery Grave knocked up the Kali enough that they were not able to go into that destruction. Tiamat finally getting the moment to shine. So low on the side of the
Dash
wall.
back. Dash back.
Could be what Tanukis need here to
Nice.
get a shutdown on to the Yu Wong, and finally a little bit of momentum back towards the side of Flaming Tanukis.
Now Flaming Tanukis can get this Fire Giant. They do have the
Oh, I don't
burn.
know about this.
I think they can. I think they can. I mean, maybe like they're gonna have to full commit this, and it still might even be a 50-50 though. Big green lead, taking a lot of damage from this. They are gonna actually get here in time. I thought the burn would have been a little better here, but I guess
They're too far behind. They don't have to burn.
they are just too far behind. Just go on this Kuzenbo, he's gonna die. I mean, I'm pretty sure he might just die to Fire Giant here by himself. Shell getting expended. A lot of dive onto Kolopsky, but again, no damage at all. He ate all of that and is still alive. Will finally fall. Rush Marshmallow picks up the kill. And in the meantime, the Flaming Tanukis did secure a Fire Giant. Hello?
Fire Giant goes down, and all of a sudden, it's only a 4,000 gold
It's a
lead.
ball game, folks.
Despite it being 12-4, and it's 4,000 now down to 3,500 after that T1 goes down. Tanukis are fine here. I mean, I still don't think you're like loving your position, but you've got fire and not that much of a gold lead. Go spend that gold. You've still done a fair amount in XP across the board, but really, I mean, all it took was that one bad fight by Kitsune. Tanukis are in this game.
3K down at the 23-minute mark. You will without a doubt take that. Now, the Tanukis still have to be cautious, though. They are still down in the gold department, still a little bit down in that power curve, as we see mid laner picking up starter item. We see Kali, I mean, probably could have got the starter item, but instead opting for a T2. I mean, I don't know if he knows this, but upgrading your starter item way better than a T2 item. But going for that one, so has a little bit of a
power.
yeah, a little bit of an edge there, I guess, in the T2 item over the jungler. So, I mean, they still have to be mindful. Just because they have FG around their waist doesn't mean they can kind of just start to run down, but run down they are. Looking at this low T2 tower on left, and then maybe we'll back up to Gold Fury. I'm surprised that Kitsune isn't trying to defend.
I think giving up the one on left specifically there is okay. It was, just a couple of autos away from falling down. Would like to see them show up to this Gold Fury, but their ADC is split pushing on the other side. I mean, if this is the call, I think you just keep going. Though they did send Ardio back to stop the Rama. But if you're giving up this gold and the beacon, I feel like you gotta try and get something on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, they're just kind of letting them back into this game at this point. I understand that they have Fire Giant, but you still have a decent lead. Beacon will fall, so a 2-to-1 beacon advantage for Kitsune. Titans are going to come clashing down soon, when Soul Lane will be the choice for those Titans. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I did not like that from the side of Kitsune, right? They kind of just let the Flaming Tanukis walk around and get whatever they wanted there for free. I mean, I definitely think they could have taken a fight. Just because they have Fire Giant doesn't mean it's not suitable to fight.
Yeah, Fire Giant, regular Fire Giant does not need all that much. It's certainly sustain its power, but it's not nearly as impressive as its enhanced variant. So do you think that could still take a stand here? The Titans are getting getting ready to march down the Soul Lane here. Do expect Kitsune to show up and defend their T2 here. Don't think they really want to take the fight, kind of where they're going to clash in the middle lanes there. Expect them to probably try and take this Titan fight under their T2.
Kitsune, though, needs to be a little bit safe, not 5 strong here in the mid lane. Some poke coming through, and Adora loses his beads. So just like that, a little bit of glimmer of hope there. Ninja, though, did have to not TP, link in order to get those beads out, but Flaming Tanuki's gonna kill this Titan. I mean, Kitsune, I understand, right? The Flaming Tanukis are a good squad, but they might be respecting them a little bit too much. And now this game, so the entirety of those 23 minutes where you just dominated the entirety of the game, gone now. Look at those curves. It looks like mountains as those spikes right back down to even.
Yeah, now Titan making its way in here. It is this Yu-Hong that's frontlining a little bit, being allowed to do it so far. Did get good poke off the Kuzenbo, but gotta be careful he doesn't get caught out playing that far up in these team fights. But now it's Marshmallow taking a lot of poke as well. Kuzenbo all coming out defensively, does stop Adora, gets out with a sliver of HP, did have to expend the ultimate there as well. Titan getting low, but so is the tower. Probably going to have to give up this.
Oh, that's a big
the flank from Ninja. His taunt is off the mark. Snipes? Not this time.
Nope. Alright, what benefits there on the side of the Flaming, or the benefits of the Kitsune there. They did end up losing that T2 tower. But look, none of their backliners had to expend any actives at all. Their support only had to use Shell. Solo laner didn't use anything. Whereas the side of the Flaming Tanukis, look, Charlo has no actives going into this fight, and beads are also down on the Tiamat. So they are going to have some choices on being able to dive this backline of the Flaming Tanukis, whereas Kitsune, they should relatively be safe, right? As we said, not a whole lot of damage or CC going to be, or a lot of CC coming through, but not a whole lot of damage going to be coming through. So if you just have those beads and Aegis, that should be more than enough to be able to deter the dive from the Tanukis.
Absolutely, and now this fire giant dance going to happen here. I'm curious to see is if either team is really willing to commit to pulling this before it's enhanced. It is about 2 minutes away, it's just a lot of time to dance here, but would be surprised if either team want to take a full 5v5 with a pull, before it's enhanced.
Wait, why does he have Soul Reaver on RDO?
Why did Klopsky build crit again? I don't know, man. Tech. Charlo getting chunked there by the Yuhuang combo. The Soul Reaver has come out. He be cooking.
Yeah,
to be fair, more damage than the tier. About the same. Considering the game state, significantly more percent kill participation. Has been a part of 2 of the 4 kills. Don't know how much of, or sorry, excuse me, 3. Yeah. Don't know how much of a tier's fault that is.
Yeah, welcome to the solo lane where you don't impact the game until like 12 minutes, 18 minutes, and then past like 23.
Yeah. I mean, so far the RDO's been okay. Will it get to the point where it just gets melted? Probably, but
no, it definitely is getting melted.
Yuhuang's full build. Almost full build besides Stardust. This is, close to the maximum amount of damage, but the blink in from the tier isn't going to find anything. A good stun, and Adora did have those beads up, just gets DC comboed, wasn't able to get that beads off, and now it's a 5v4 for Tanukis.
Well, Adora there, opting to go in on the Circuit. I don't know if you know this, but Circuit is really good into you. Probably shouldn't be looking to go onto them. Maybe look to aim at one of these backliners that didn't have actives up for a little bit of that fight, but instead going in on the Circuit and paid the price. That Circuit, he's getting tankier and tankier. Again, level 20, but opting for a T2 item. Gonna be Stone of Binding there. I don't know if they know this, but your starter item is better than a T2 item.
Yeah, starters are shockingly pretty good. Shocking developments here in the Olympus Smite League that starter items are good items. But it's the crit build from that Kolobsky again. So far it doesn't seem like it's hurt him too much. It's 500 damage difference is effectively nothing.
This is what I was kind of saying though, in which I would like to have seen Big Green Leaf go into those thorns as we see the Justice coming through there by tier, but a lot of return poke on the side of the Tornadoes from Tiamat. But I would have definitely liked to see him go thorns into anti-crit, and then he could have basically just soloed Kolobsky with his own autos. But instead, opting for that shell and blink. Charlo, buddy, you're an ADC. Stop stepping up and bada bing, boom, you're gone. The Yuhuang dueling dragons.
It's the Yuhuang. Circuit coming out again. Ninja biting off William and Chu. Perhaps the destruction ultimate pop out of just making sure that everything there is okay. I liked that decision after last fight, not quite getting it off. Wasn't going to make that same decision twice, and now it is a 5v. Kitsune Adora needs to go back to base. So, a temporary 4v3 here, but a definite advantage as the mid lane, the ADC and the jungler for Tanukis are dead for another 20 and 30 seconds respectively. And now this tier is trying to make space. It is getting rather low. This Tiamat's doing a lot of damage in these fights, and now this fight is getting messy. Is the Athena so low? The RDO trying to chase it. Skull gets a kill onto Kolobsky. Could pay for it. Low health bars for the Kuzubo. Low health bars for the Tiamat. And another scrappy fight. And now Kuzubo running for his life. The blink comes out because why not? And it's a triple kill for the Kali.
Yeah, I know. I definitely liked what the Flaming did there. They made it really sloppy, really difficult for them, but just not enough damage coming through there to be able to pick up any crucial kills. And then what just feels really terrible is Adora was able to back, reset, get back into the fight, and then just go absolutely crazy in that exchange. Didn't have ultimate, but no CC was able to come through. He was able to pick up a massive triple kill here. Now Suketta's back, but
I don't think they can do this.
I don't think they can.
So low here.
That's the issue with Fire Giant. You can defend Fire Giant with like 2-3 people. Like basically, if it's an even matchup where you're only down one person, you can easily defend Fire in this current meta. The Fire Giant does way too much damage, and you don't do enough to be able to shred it.
Yeah, the ADC dead despite having that crit build that would shred that Fire Giant quite a bit. You can't shred it if you are dead. So not going to have enough damage to pull that right away. Get the player damage starts, man. Tell me if you've seen this before, where it's the Yu Huang, the gap,
a massive gap.
everybody else.
No, yeah, I have seen it before. I have seen it. I mean, this time though, speaking of odd choices of heroism, the Athena opting for heroism in this one.
Okay, I mean, you can. It's really good into Suket, obviously. It's not bad into the Ardio. You know, Ardio's getting a big blink stun. Not the worst. I think it's okay. I do think it's just a little outshone in matchups where it's not, you know, very obvious hard CC. You know, probably would have been better off over Sentinels, but I don't hate it as much as I hated the heroism last game.
Yeah, the heroism last game was borderline useless. Borderline. Tier. Trying to beat a little bit of nuisance. Adora though, splitting in that mid lane. He wants the 1v1 by Ninja. Ninja opting for that more tankier build, so it's gonna be hard for him to 1v. Oh my!
Oh no!
And you were speaking. I'm missing ults, and he missed it there. Hits the minion, but a lot of damage coming through as he tanks the bird.
You can't go
Ninja
that
will
way.
kill him. Oh.
Yeah, and I mean, it did work out there where Adora just, you know.
You know what's funny?
I think a little bit of a panic ult, you know, wasn't really in any danger there. Popped the ult a little bit earlier than they needed to.
Circuit ult spread after he killed the minion, and it went on the Kali, and that's what killed him.
Yeah, as intended, right?
Yeah, as intended. Yeah.
So now, with that being the case, now power play for the Flaming Tanukis have that one-man advantage. Ninja getting into the backline here. The Yufong finally under some pressure. He is in a rough spot. Tiamat charging up the laser is going to finally kill this Yufong. Charlo fighting for the life. The snipes are good for the Kolapsi to at least turn around one. Kolapsi did not realize there was a Tiamat around the corner, and it's just deleted by the Tiamat Bull Minion and the two. Skull having a very good game here in the late game, despite the early struggles on just, yeah, Tiamat that's shockingly just not very good in the early game.
I think both teams should play to this throw the early game, right? Get massively behind in the early game, because whatever team has gotten a massive early game lead has ended up throwing it away instantly in the mid game. And you know, Flaming Tanukis decided to throw the lead in game one. Now Kitsune said, "We'll do one better, buddy," and they're throwing this one in game number 2. Midbird is going to fall. They might actually, never mind. 7 seconds left on the support, so they might opt to just play the safe game here, take that back up, and go to Fire Giant potentially. But I mean, Midbird down now, so that's something that Kitsune are gonna have to worry about, as Fire Giant more than likely is gonna be the call here for the Tanukis.
Hold in your pocket and permanent pressure on that mid wave. Thankfully, Kali does clear it pretty well, so not as bad as losing your left bird, but it is still a bird down. Still means that you are one bad fight away from the game ending. Especially, like, the biggest thing with having a bird down is that you don't need your ADC to live to potentially win the game. A lot of times you see the ADC die, and the game won't end despite winning the fight because you don't have any push onto those birds. Now with one down, you know, even if Charlo does take a spill in this fight, should be able to just walk in and end if they get a, you know, a 5 for 3 or a, you know, 5 for 2 type of fight.
Blink ults coming through. They know that these beads Kitsune and Yupong are down. Up into the area he goes. Force the Aegis afterwards. This kind of panic Aegising there. Ult's getting traded out, but not a lot of damage in return. And the cripple field's coming through. Finally, RDO is doing something, and Jarlo picks up the kill onto that tier. Kolobsky ulting just for a little bit of tickle damage, but tickling is all he did. Midwave's pushing into the Titan room. It won't be too much. They can probably look to defend this Fire Giant, and as I said, in a 4v5, you can still look to defend in this meta, but more than likely, it looks like they're gonna sack it. EFG will go to the Tanukis.
EFG does look like it's getting sacked. Rama ult is down. I think it's the most important for them to be down here. No real steal threat, unless, I mean, Kali could try and get in here, but the zone good. Fire Giant's low. Kitsune kind of late deciding they want this. Are going to pick Ninja. That is a worthwhile prize there. Should be able to get big green leaf here as well. So Fire Giant goes down, but it is only onto 3 members. Could be less, as now the Athena and the Kali are in the backline going crazy. You've got Fire Giant, but you lost 3 members
that might be game.
So it could be game here. The tier is
Tier
up.
STP?
Does have that teleport.
Yeah.
Assuming somebody has a ward in hand here for their tier. Looks like they do have some. Should be able to rejoin this fight.
Skull's coming up big though. Oh my god, I think right there deters there. Now there's gonna be no tank to be able to tank this Phoenix and be able to take the Titan at the same. Oh, and he goes alternate timeline. I am so big brained, and it saves his life.
Well, I have to resign from my positions because I said that at the beginning of the game. It's been nice knowing all of you. That's an alternate timeline guardian.
And it worked, and it saved his life. That's terrible to look at.
He doesn't even have. He could have gone pendulum and not been trolling. He only has 30% cooldown. Regrowth only gives 10. He could have built it and not been trolling. Oh, I'm disgusted. There's an alternate timeline Tiamat in a game that I.
Well, not Tiamat. Yeah,
Or not Tiamat.
Yo, hey,
Even on
alternate.
Tiamat, it would have been bad.
Hey, I did a week 1, and let's just say it won us the game.
Alright, the only characters I want to see alternate timeline on is Zonkui.
Baba Yaga?
Maybe Baba. I'm also very biased towards Zonkui because I got a triple kill in alternate timeline in an AGL set very recently, and it was kind of hilarious.
Yeah, alternate timeline is pretty OP on him. I will give you that. I like going alternate timeline.
Yeah, good times in Zonkui land, but getting back to the game that actually matters here. EFG on 2 people. Midbird has a respawn for Kitsune, so minor advantage here to Flameway Tanukis is just the mid and solo laner. You know, no supports having it, no ADCs having it, so not a huge deal, though. It does mean that Tiamat, that's already been doing so much damage, is going to hit even harder. That's probably the the most significant fact here, along with that mid wave coming down. It is not the fire wave. 2 members of Kitsune in mid right now. I don't know if Tanukis realized that, Adora does come back over, decides to help out the team, going to leave the tier to clear out the mid wave.
Minions are pushing down in this lane too. It looks like they're gonna siege this, right? It looks like they're waiting for that perfect moment to blink in here. Ninja keeping someone in that middle lane here, so more than likely gonna take this 4v4 option. It's about kind of stepping in a little bit, but I don't know, man. It looks like they're too scared. They don't want to lose this fight because I feel like the next team to get wiped definitely loses the game, right? And I feel like instead of taking the riskier play, Flaming Tanuki's a little scared. They're just kind of waiting for that perfect moment.
Yeah, a little bit hesitant. I mean, there's been 2 members of Kitsune in this mid lane for a long time, both Tura and Tier. Finally, good turn. TF Tornado is going to make space here. Dragons does pull somebody back here. Now Adora into the back lane as well. Does get the kill onto Rough Marshmallow. The rest of Flaming Tanukis are healthy, though. And it looks like the Tier wants to chase us out, but his back line said, hey, we're half HP, man. I don't know if I want to fight that.
Yeah, I mean, Rough Marshmallow kind of sacking his life there for that left bird. I mean, they have 50 seconds to play with, though. Maybe they can push a bird down, maybe push his left bird down, maybe push one of these T2s down, but instead opting to just farm. A little interesting call. call there to just go back to just kind of split farm, because blink in from Ninja there doesn't get the actives though onto this mid laner. That's what happens under Tanky. Does though get the Athena ult in response, so maybe a little bit of a dub. Blink for Athena ult.
Yeah, I mean, your Circuit's ult is on, has 40% cooldown, is on a pretty low cooldown. Shouldn't, hurt too much just to use it. You get the Athena ult. Athena's got to be a little bit more careful, as does the rest of their team for, the next minute or so until that Athena ult comes back up. But it is EFG time again. This time it's with the left Phoenix down. Obviously significantly harder to defend that left Phoenix than it is to defend the mid Phoenix on these EFG dances.
I thought Kitsune was going to look to maybe take a siege fight on that T2 and left, but no. You have been seeing that a little bit, right? You've seen teams, instead of opting to just do these like little back and forth fights at Fire Giant, instead just opting to, force these fights around T2 towers. Because again, at any stage of the game, if you like pass like the 28 to 29 minute mark, if you team wipe and you have basically the vast majority of the T2 towers down, you can instantly end the game in this current meta. So you haven't seen teams flex a little bit of, we're not going to go for Fire Giant and risk losing the game there. Instead, we'll try to take these open field 5v5 fights. But Kitsune, a little too scared to take the T2 while fighting, and instead back up and will hover around this fight.
Yeah, I think I would have liked to see them take that. They did do a good job of pushing up that left wave, but now Tia minions plus the fire waves are going to, very quickly find their way into the Titan. The Tia wave minions really do help those fire waves push just that little bit harder. I mean, that's almost a double fire wave there, which you don't really want to let onto your Titan. Does look like a back is going to come out here. Can Tyr clear fire waves all that well? I don't think he can. I mean, he has a pretty bluestone, but
the only reason why they're sending him back is because he has the TP, so he can kind of just sit here for a while and then TP over whenever he needs to. I mean, they also could have let a couple waves going, right? One fire wave into your Titan room isn't the end of the game, right? You can, with these AoE cleave autos from the Titan, you can kind of let one or two go in, and you should still relatively be fine on Titan HP. But what isn't okay on the HP levels is this Fire Giant, as it is burning completely.
Fire Giant getting down to about 1/3 HP here. Looks like the call from Flaming Tanukis is to fight. They've dropped it. The Tyr hits TP back in. He's way behind them. Can he find a good flank here? They shouldn't know he's here. Now spotted out. Gets the beads off of Charlo. Quick beads there. Should save his life, and now it's Ninja's turn to do the flanking. Gets the ult off onto Adora, who is just going to shrug it off. And now the Yu Huang ultimate once again just comes crashing into the backline of Flaming Tanukis. It's the mid laner. Skull has fallen down here. Adora playing games with Ninja. Did just commit their jump. Does Yu Huang realize that they're being hunted out here? The tanks have backed, trying to keep that left Phoenix up, but it's just mid jungle here. Good Athena ult probably slows down any aggression.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm someone on the Flaming Tanukis, if I'm a backliner on the, as Dora just gets erased there. If I'm a backliner though on the Flaming Tanukis, I'm yelling at one of my tanks. They passed the Titan over to their squishies. Both of them just ate a bunch of damage from that Fire Giant, and because of that, they were very low for that fight and ended up losing. Lawbringer getting used there just safely to get out. I mean, these fights are sloppy going into this late game, and it is benefiting the Flaming Tanukis.
Good defensive ult there from Yu Huang is going to pick up Ninja. Now has no beats, does get his 3 back up, ups down the ultimate timeline proc, doesn't save his life this time. Health bars inches from a full team wipe outside of Kolopsky is going to hold, now trying to defend this bird versus the Kuziko and Charlo. Charlo going to ult and is potentially going to pay from a good blink fearless from the Tyr. Now the chase is back onto Charlo. Did use that ultimate aggressively, has no relics to speak of as well. Taunt should end his life, and it will. Tyr doing so much damage with that upgraded bluestone. But the bird did fall in the right lane. The Yu Huang ult does not hit this time, off the mark with the rest of the abilities this time as well. And now Skull has come back in to try and help. Doesn't have the beat. good immunity out of the ultimate. Kusugo forced to try and keep his mid laner alive, and these fights are scrappy.
Yeah, scrappy is an understatement. Just back and forth. You're dying. Now we're dying. Now you're dying. Now we're dying. I thought Kitsune, if they just grouped as a team there, they could easily have taken EFG, maybe even like the push or a bird, but instead losing their solo laner in the process. They are gonna pull FG, but I think the Flaming Tanukis might be able to get here in time. At least the Kuzenbo will. Tiamat though right behind. Same thing with the Circuit. Never mind. Circuit prioritizing speed buff. So now Kuzenbo gonna look to solo defend here. Taunt coming through and Kitsune gets it. Yep, that's what happens when you want the speed buff more than defend and fire.
Yeah, a little questionable to do that speed buff, especially because she doesn't insta clear that with her build. She has to hit it for a while. But Circuit going to get a speed buff, big, massive. But 4 members of Kitsune walk away with that enhanced fire giant. Should be in a good spot to see Alex
like this.
about to come up across the board. They are going to pick up a team that isn't Oni Fury, so help them push just a little bit. Going to make Kitsune do their thing. They can end the game. You're going to have to push out those Oni waves before they're really allowed to siege.
Kitsune, they should just go ahead and push up this right lane, and that's what they are opting to do. Just push the side with the fire waves. You don't have to worry about backing to defend if you just push that lane down. But these are now enhanced Oni waves, so mid lane's gonna be pushed up relatively far. Tier in the mid lane dealing with those. May even see him flex over to the left lane to deal with that wave as well too. Does have the TP up, so can just TP over. Does have Kolofsky wards to be able to get over there in the blink of a moment. But I mean, look, Kitsune probably just gonna strip this, maybe look to take this bird on the right, or maybe flex towards this middle lane or left side T2.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kitsune just pushes this right wave. You don't want to have to deal with fire waves back on your end. Like, it's okay here. Going left certainly would be a valid choice as well, but I don't hate the decision to just siege into the same lane that you have the fire minions deal with, so that way you can have a full 5v5 here. Your colleague can split push into the mid lane without having to worry about anything. Oh, I thought Caldy was back in there too. They kind of overlapped there. Just a tier is going to burn his teleport early to do that, which I don't. Oh, he's going to clear the left wave. Potentially could have been a problem for that Phoenix.
This
I don't. Wasting time here.
Yeah. It's almost like they're just playing this EFG to get their bird back up, which is kind of troll, right? Because at this stage of the game, you can look to push, take a big fight, and end the game. Instead, though, taking a 4v5, exchanging poke there from support and the jungler, and they're setting their sights on this Athena. Hey, buddy, you may be full tank, but you're not that tanky. Dueling Dragons coming through, and now just like that, Kitsune is diving back in. Double kill coming through, and this may be the ball game off of one fumble bag fight. Yu Hong picks up the support, and now just like that, they're gonna be able to strip all of these birds and potentially end the game.
I don't even think you need to strip the birds still. The Circuit gets into the backline, gets the taunt off. If they fall down, that should be the game. You don't need those birds. Just hit the Titan.
Thank you. I didn't want to go to a game 3, man. This is 50 minutes long. Get me out of here. Wrap it up, ship it, clip it, boys. It's over. See you later. And just like that, one team has gone.
I don't. They need to hit the Titan. Okay.
No, they. Kolofsky still full HP.
Kolofsky full HP. For real. Might be there, but yeah, all in the sake of farming player damage, right? See, he knew he was like 600 damage behind Skull in the game, and he needed to get top player damage in the lobby back. Didn't quite get it, but I respect it. Buff mages, by the way, 61k, not enough damage.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, I don't even know what what went wrong in that game. How you have like close to like a 10 to 11k plus gold lead and still almost fumble the bag there though is kind of insane to me. But picking up a nice dub there though. This Yu Hong in 2 games went 23, like 30 something and 2 on the deaths department there. 2 deaths and like in like 24. I think it was what 2023,
Yeah,
24. Yeah,
24.
23.
Yeah, so it would have been like 24, 2 in 17s or 27. Excuse me, something
No,
like
I think
that.
yeah, no, I think it was he had 18 assists in game one, so it was like
It was a
32.
lot. It
Yeah,
was a
yeah.
lot. Man went
Uh,
absolutely nuclear on the Huang. Skull also had a very good game on this TMI, doing just as much damage, an out more damage, but very respectable showing out of both mid laners and really both teams there. Tanukis pulling, almost pulling back a game that really they had no business being any, close in after the beginning of that game. Found a way to at least, almost win that game.
yeah, it does feel tough though for Mr. Skull there to have 62K and the next highest on his team is sitting at 38. Kind of a big gap there, but I guess the same goes to that Yu Hong, right? 61 and the next highest on his team is 28. So I mean, just all around, both these mid laners kind of looking like the stars of their team, right? And I think they just played around this Yu Huang better, right? They kept him alive more, let him kind of do his thing in these mid to late game team fights, and that just kind of is what set these teams apart, right? Kitsune
Yeah.
picking up a big W, and this is kind of the interesting thing though about this brackets, right? In this last week, better teams are playing better teams, more bottom tier teams are playing more bottom tier teams, right? So you're seeing these more competitively close games, but also they have implications on playoff standings, right? Now the Flaming Tanukis, I think they fall. Is that their second loss or their first loss?
It's a second loss.
Second loss. So now they fall to 4-2 on the season. Kitsune 5-1 ending the season. So I mean, Kitsune more than likely will be the first seed on their bracket, but I mean, the Tanukis this may have some implications on their seeding going into next week in the play-ins.
It could affect both. Kitsune is in the conference with KWM, who are 5-0, but does put a little bit of pressure onto KWM to still win their set.
Yeah, well, I think KWM beat them now.
Yeah, so Kitsune will
Okay.
be second
Okay,
on
okay, okay.
almost no matter what.
No matter what,
Um,
yeah, 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 yeah. Because
but it
even if
does,
KWM loses, I think, yeah.
yeah, and I believe for the other conference, if doing okay, 2-0s. I believe they are first seed, so that would drop Tanukis down to second. Both teams can't fall out of the top two, so still doing a-okay there. But yeah, does mean you get second, the second choice of your
Yeah, exactly.
opponents.
Yeah, your choice at picking your opponent does kind of go down the list there, though, as it is based on how your overall standings are, right? So a little bit of implications there. Now, Kitsune, or sorry, the Flaming Tanukis might have to play a more tougher opponent in the first round of the playoffs. Maybe someone that is around that cusp of like a 4-2 or 3-3 style type of team. But hey, that was the ball game there, folks. A nice, convincing 2-0 victory. Maybe not in game number 2, but game number 1 was a little more convincing there. Victory for Kitsune. I'm Hunter. With me is Helenu, the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you, and good night.
Take it all back, but if you want my sympathy, honey, well, come as a bitch, get ready for this. I trust my best, confess.